On the shores of the Sea of Galilee, there was a village called Magdala. It was a bustling and noisy place, full of fishermen returning at dawn, merchants shouting prices in the market, and women working tirelessly between bales of fabric, nets, and small shops. Yet among all the voices of that town, there was one woman whose presence, whether silent or trembling, drew attention. Her name was Mary of Magdala. But Mary was not known for good reasons. Not yet. Long before her name became a symbol, her life had been a battlefield. Her mind, once peaceful, had become a territory invaded by shadows. She woke up with fear, slept with fear, and lived surrounded by whispers that no one else could hear. People avoided her. Mothers pulled their children away. Men murmured, "She is cursed. The demons torment her. God has abandoned her." But Mary knew she had never been abandoned. Deep inside her, a desperate spark refused to go out. She clung to that spark even when the darkness inside her screamed louder than her own thoughts. There were days when she didn't know if she would survive. There were nights when she walked the streets trembling, trying to escape voices that only she could hear. And as time passed, she lost everything: friends, dignity, rest. Her body remained, but her soul was trapped. 7 demons, 7 prisons, 7 storms inside one single woman. Until he came. Jesus of Nazareth. Mary had heard rumors about him. People spoke of a rabbi who touched lepers without fear, who restored sight to the blind, who spoke to sinners as if they were not trash, but beloved daughters and sons. People said he healed with just a word, that he confronted the powerful without hesitation, and that his gaze could pierce the deepest parts of a person. Mary didn't believe it. Or rather, she wanted to believe but didn't know how. One afternoon, while the air shimmered with heat and the town moved with its usual rhythm, Mary saw a small crowd approaching. People whispered and ran to see the man who taught with authority, not like the scribes. When Jesus stopped near her, she froze. He didn't flinch, didn't take a step back, didn't look at her with disgust or fear. He looked into her. And for the first time in years, Mary felt seen, not by the voices inside her, not by judgment, not by rumors, but by truth itself. He spoke her name. Mary. Her heart trembled. And then, without theatrics, without a shout, without spectacle, Jesus laid his hand on her head. A silence fell inside her. A violent silence. Holy silence. And then, the screams stopped. The shadows broke. The chains shattered. One by one, like birds fleeing from a cage that had been opened, the 7 demons left her. Her knees gave way. Her tears fell freely. Her mind finally rested. For the first time in many years, Mary could breathe without fear. She was free. Not almost free. Not partially free. Completely, deeply, gloriously free. From that day forward, Mary chose something that no one expected. She followed him. Not because she was forced. Jesus never forced anyone. But because when someone brings you back to life, you don't return to the grave. Mary followed him through dusty roads, cities of stone, villages full of sick people calling out for mercy. She watched him embrace children, confront hypocritical leaders, multiply bread for the hungry, raise the dead, and teach about a kingdom not made of walls, but of transformed hearts. She understood something fundamental. He had not only liberated her, he had restored her identity. Mary became one of the women who supported Jesus' ministry with their own resources. She traveled with him, listened to his teachings, and learned the mysteries of the kingdom that had finally reached earth. Yet freedom does not erase suffering. And Mary would face the greatest pain of her life. One night, soldiers invaded the garden where Jesus prayed. Mary wasn't there, but when the news spread through the region, she felt the ground shake under her feet. Jesus, the one who had freed her, was now arrested, judged unjustly, beaten, humiliated. Mary could have hidden, could have fled like many did, could have pretended she didn't know him, but she refused. When Jesus was taken to the cross, Mary followed. The air was thick with dust and shouts. The city was overflowing with people who either cheered the execution or watched with indifferent curiosity. But Mary walked with the other women, and with every step, her heart broke a little more. When the nails were driven into his hands and feet, Mary felt the sound echo inside her bones. He stayed. Even as some turned their faces, even as his blood stained the ground, even as he struggled to breathe, Mary remained. Because the one who stayed for her deserved that she stay for him. When Jesus finally gave his last breath, Mary collapsed. The world seemed to stop. The man who had given her life had died. And with him, part of her felt buried. But Mary could not abandon him. At dawn on the third day, while the sky was still dark, she walked to the tomb carrying spices. It was the last act of love she could offer. But when she arrived, the stone was gone. Tomb was open. Silent. Her heart raced. Had someone taken his body? Had they not allowed even the dignity of his burial to remain untouched? She cried, overwhelmed, desperate. The one who had freed her now seemed lost forever. Until she heard a voice behind her. "Woman, why are you crying? Who are you looking for?" She thought it was the gardener. "Sir, if you have taken him, tell me where you put him, and I will go get him." Then he spoke her name again. Mary. And everything inside her recognized him. It was him. Alive. Standing. Glorified. Resurrected. The world changed in that instant. Mary became the first witness of the resurrection. The first to see him. The first to hear him. The first to proclaim. He is alive. Not a king, not a priest, not a scholar. But Mary of Magdala. The woman once tormented. Now restored, honored, chosen. Her story became a testimony not of shame, but of transformation. The woman who had been imprisoned by 7 demons became the messenger of the greatest hope humanity has ever received. The world would never be the same. And neither would she.